Kyle Ferroly here. Wanted to share with you some insight that I gained from a recent talk I gave to some local people. And as you know, my book is coming out soon, and 6 of the chapters are very scientific and factual. Everything can be backed up. You can't really argue with science and with equipment measuring things. So for example, when you become stressed, your breathing speeds up and your heart rate speeds up and you take more shallow breaths and your muscles tense up sometimes when you get stressed. That's not something you can really argue because you can see it on equipment. Now, if we were to argue which side of the political spectrum is right or which religious affiliation is the way everyone should go, I wouldn't even think about getting into things like that because I don't want to judge other people with how they do things, nor would I want to waste precious time arguing something that can't really be solved or proven. So the first 6 chapters of the book are very, very basic like that. The last chapter, though, I've been getting a lot of flack on, and I'm keeping it in the book, by the way, because I call it the blind spot of not having a big picture in your life, not having a connection to something larger than yourself. And it doesn't have to be a certain church, it doesn't have to be a certain God, it doesn't have to be a certain religion or the universe, whatever it is that makes you tick in a way. Sometimes it's being part of an affiliation of a group. Sometimes it's a group of friends. Sometimes it's family. Sometimes you might be a teacher or a leader or a coach and you find value in helping others. But whatever it might be, when things really get bad, that's, I think, when we're tested and that bigger thing that we have in our lives pulls us through. A few months ago, I'm making this in February, in last November, a few months ago, I had a client pass away who I was very, very close to, very, very kind older man suffering with Parkinson's. And he didn't die from Parkinson's. He fell, unfortunately, and hit his head really bad. But I got too close. I really enjoyed working with him. I'm going to miss him dearly. I also had to move my offices. I was forced out of a space because they didn't want to renew the contract. You can tell that can be frustrating. Had to spend a ton of money to go into 3 different areas because our center was so big at that time. And the IRS decided they didn't get a form that they needed, and I knew I had claimed the income, but they didn't get the little form saying that I knew I had to claim the income. So it was a trifecta. It was really a rough month. And then you throw Thanksgiving in there, then you throw traveling in there, you throw academic things in there. And I have to say, what pulled me through was I love educating others. I love helping others. I love making videos in my comfy little studio here. I love sharing it with other people. I want other people not to suffer and struggle. I want people to not have so much stress. I want people to know how to identify their stress. Just a few of my things that I'd like to do, in my lifetime here. Obviously, be a good husband, be a good father. But as far as business-wise, things that you would hopefully benefit from, those are the things that pulled me through. I actually made a few videos. I actually wrote a few blogs. I didn't actually launch them because I was so darn angry. But I learned a lot through that process. And that's why I think that this bigger picture is so important, because we really have to understand where we're starting from. And that is, our mind triggers our brain triggers our body, and we interact with our environment. And then when things get bad, we're trying to look at symptoms, and it's like chasing your tail. You're never going to figure it out unless you actually identify in your mind, brain, and body what's causing the symptoms. So just a quick video. Hopefully it's helped you to understand, that there is something out there other than just the science that is very important. And while I value the science and I value my master's degree and my doctoral training, I know that there is a bigger picture out there that's different for all of us. So I'm not going to push any of my views on you, other than I hope you would be willing to at least investigate the idea that there's something bigger than us that could help pull us through it. And for those of you that have a religious, twist to it, wonderful. Those of you that believe in the universe or spirituality or whatever, wonderful. I mean, I'm not saying right from wrong. Just not something bigger than you that's harming people, obviously. I mean, that's just a simple, no-brainer, right? No pun intended. Something that's making the world better, that's helping you get through it. And that might set me up for a huge trap someday in criticism or something else. But at this point in my life, I know that there is something bigger in my life, and it's helped me get through a lot of these things. So hopefully this has been helpful for you, and I look forward to hearing more of your comments, whether they're at one of my talks or online, or you stop by the center and say hi. Thanks.